and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Daniel.
And for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome. The way we format our show is first we start off with some news, again ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more, and we follow up with our comic book pull list of the week.
A lot coming in the world of movies. And then we've got brand new number ones coming from Marvel. We're going to kick it off with the movie news, and that is with the Vertigo films that Warner Brothers is putting together. Along with the shuffling of these Vertigo films over to New Line Cinema, still owned by Warner Brothers, Guillermo del Toro will no longer be developing the upcoming Justice League Dark film titled Dark Universe.
No! This is very sad news.
It's your favorite director, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I loved him particularly in Pan's Labyrinth, and so I was looking to see a lot of those horror elements brought to this movie, but they dashed my hopes and dreams.
He could have made a version of Constantine, because he will be included in this Justice League Dark movie, that you might have enjoyed more than the television one.
I mean, maybe. I feel like no Constantine will ever top TV Constantine, because all other Constantines are shit.
Not a Guillermo del Toro Constantine.
We don't know. We'll never know now. We will never know.
So what's he going to be working on instead?
Guillermo will instead be working on the sequel to Pacific Rim.
If you were Guillermo, which one would make you more money? Justice League Dark or Pacific Rim 2?
Pacific Rim 2. The first one was badass. It was like Transformers meets Godzilla.
It did make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Pacific Rim 2 will as well. I would have liked him to anchor himself into the Justice League movie, into the superhero genre, because that would have created even more opportunities for him in the future if he wanted to team up with the main Warner Brothers distribution to do a crossover with Dark Universe. With this being a Vertigo film, do you think we won't see Dark Universe crossover into the superhero movies that we're getting with Warner Brothers?
That's tough to say. I think it's going to depend on how the movie does. If the movie does really well, then they're going to say, yeah, tie it into all our shit, because we'll get, more advertisement and more viewership from that. If it does well, they're going to be like, that's Vertigo. They did that.
Warner Brothers did recently say that they have their hands full with the current line of superhero movies that they have up until 2020, and they're letting their smaller division, the New Line Cinema, handle these Vertigo movies like Sandman, like Dark Universe. Do you think that's a smart move from them, or do you think they should try to keep everything as cohesive and one vision as possible?
They went, these aren't going to make a lot of money. You can try. That's pretty much what they did, because they didn't give them any... everybody knows the name Superman. Everybody knows the name Batman. How many people know Sandman?
How many people know Swamp Thing?
Exactly. So they're still putting those out because they know they will make some money and they'll get their money back on what they make, but they're not putting as much effort and time into those movies.
And when we mention Sandman or Constantine, we're talking about your average Joe out there. The guy that goes into these superhero movies and that is everything they know about that specific character is what they see on the big screen. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that don't know about Dead Man. They're the ones that don't know about Swamp Thing unless maybe they grew up with the television show. But that is the extent of it. If you haven't read Scott Snyder's run, then you probably aren't as excited for Justice League Dark as you and I might be.
Mm-hmm. So some more big television news. Entertainment Weekly magazine features new images from 2016's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
So the cover itself, we finally see Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, the Trinity, in full lighting, and we do see that the costumes are, in fact, a little bit darker in color. They're not as bright as people, I guess, were expecting it to be. And that included myself. When I saw that first image of Wonder Woman with the backdrop of all that destruction around there, I said that maybe their colors are a little bit more muted because of that specific picture. When we see them in full light, we do actually see that Batman looks a lot lighter than what we first saw in that black and white image. Mm-hmm. The gray is lighter against that black Batman symbol. Superman's is definitely darker than what we saw in Man of Steel a little bit. And then Wonder Woman, you do see that there are definitely some blues, some golds, and some reds in there, but they are more closer to what Superman's colors are.
I think that's a smart move. I really like that, especially in Wonder Woman, because she's obviously wearing leather. When you color leather, it is going to be that darker color.
She could also be wearing like a steel mesh at some point, or maybe some armor later on that could brighten up any of those colors.
We'll see. I don't think it's a bad move. I'm sure some people are unhappy with it, but wait till it comes out on the big screen.
So let's talk about the pictures in the actual magazine.
Mm-hmm.
The big one, two of them, one of which we see Lex Luthor with hair.
Yeah, weird.
So I don't know if it's going to be a flashback sequence or some of the events in the movie.
I hope it's a flashback.
Are going to cause Luthor to lose his hair and be upset at Superman, like in the original comics.
That's a dumb reason, but okay. Next.
And we see one with Bruce Wayne and Zack Snyder. So Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder, and he's directing him behind the scenes. One of Superman with all of his followers touching him, and he's looking off in the distance.
Like, where's Batman? Why isn't he here? Wonder what he's doing.
And then the big one, in my opinion, is Bruce Wayne at some kind of ball or
charity event. I'm sure it's always a charity event with Bruce Wayne.
With Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. And they're both dressed in casual clothing. And that's the one that got me excited, because I immediately thought of Justice League, the animated series, from Bruce Timm and Paul Dini and Dwayne McDuffie. That was immediately like, that they're recreating that fucking scene, hopefully, from the animated series. And I want a relationship between Bruce and Wonder Woman to develop, because Batman gets what he wants because he's fucking Batman.
Well, that is the truth, but he needs to get with Catwoman.
And if it's going to follow the animated series at all, Bruce and Diana did have a relationship in Justice League.
I mean, Bruce was just like getting it in there. That's all he cared about.
Well, that's usually... I mean, does he really get in a relationship with any... aside from Andrea Belmont, not even Catwoman.
Yes, with Catwoman.
Okay, who's the real Batman?
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy, who played him in The Best Batman Anything Ever, and that is...
Well, okay, Mask of the Phantasm, yes. But...
Batman the Animated Series, even. I'll even give you Batman the Animated Series.
So, he got with Andrea Beaumont, but he still got with Catwoman.
And he got with Talia, and he got with Wonder Woman.
But he
got with Zatanna.
He, totes loved Catwoman.
He never once kisses her in Batman the Animated Series.
But I'm pretty sure that he loves her.
You can't just make that assumption. He loved Talia.
And you know what? We're moving on.
He loved Wonder Woman.
So when is this movie coming out so that all our people know? Because he didn't love any of those. He just loved Catwoman.
Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice will release on March 25th, 2016. I'm sure that's forever burned in the Brokettes' minds, because it should be.
5/25/16.
I'm going to be there for the midnight.
3/25/16.
3/25/2016.
3/25/16.
Less than a year. Cool. Less than a year.
And Batman loves Catwoman. Okay, so Fast and the Furious actor. No, Fast and Furious. There's no "the" in there.
There might have been one, but now they changed it.
Because "the" makes it a different movie, right?
Yes.
That makes no sense. Oh my goodness. Did men come up with the title of those movies?
They ran out of ideas, because they can do 1, 2, 3. I don't even know if there was a 4. Then there was Tokyo Drift. And then there was The Fast, The Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious.
I would make 3 Fast, 3 Furious.
And what would be... Okay, so what would you call the fourth one? Quad Fast, Quad Furious?
No. For thou art fast, for thou art furious. That is what I would name it. And they speak in Old English through the whole thing.
It's going to be like that Romeo and Juliet movie from the 90s.
Oh,
in which it was a modern setting.
With what's his name? DiCaprio.
Yes, the guy without an Oscar. Exactly, that's exactly him.
I saw something really funny once. And it said, what if they make a film about Leo DiCaprio never winning an Oscar, and the guy who plays Leo wins an Oscar?
He would be so mad, and I hope it happens. I love Leo. He's become a better actor with age, just like George Clooney. But that is fucking funny.
That would be hilarious. So, Fast and Furious actor Tyrese Gibson has put up an image on Instagram of a photoshopped picture of himself as Green Lantern alongside Hal Jordan.
The picture did read, quote, "Shit just got real. Hashtag double oath. Hashtag double trouble. Hashtag Green Lantern. Hashtag WB. Hashtag Voltron Pictures."
Are they like the Team Rocket of the DC universe now? Double Trouble? Tyrese has publicly campaigned hard for the role, revealing that he had met with Warner Brothers in the past to be cast as Jon Stewart.
Fans are speculating on whether or not this is a confirmation of the role or simply more self-promotion.
What is self-promotion?
Someone like Tyrese would immediately tell everyone that he was cast as Green Lantern.
Yeah, he would.
I honestly think this might be it.
Really?
I honestly do think so. And it might even be that the new Green Lantern film will actually feature 2 Green Lanterns, like in this picture, Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
2 lanterns, 2 furious. That's That's what I would have posted as him. Not this double trouble nonsense.
So what do you think of Tyrese as the possible Jon Stewart Green Lantern? The very first big screen, our favorite Green Lantern, Jon Stewart.
I would love to see Jon Stewart. I have never seen Tyrese in a movie. I think I watched one of the Fast and Furious, and then I got in my head, because I drive the same kind of cars that they race in, that I could race people. And so I was like racing minivans, like, yeah, beating you. And then I never watched another one.
I'll tell you the truth. Tyrese Gibson will bring in tickets. He's not a great actor. I will tell you straight up. When I think of Tyrese, I do not think Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart I see as someone a little bit older, someone with a little bit less flair, and that's because he's a military man.
Samuel L. Jackson?
No, not really. I'm not a casting director. I could not choose who Jon Stewart could be.
Morgan Freeman played him?
Again, I cannot choose. There's no way I could choose a Jon Stewart.
It would be great. He'd be like wise and all-knowing. We just hear his voiceover for the whole movie. It'd be perfect.
Are you just happy that there's a Jon Stewart? Are you at all worried about Tyrese?
Like I said, I've never seen Tyrese, so I can't say that I'm worried. I hope they do Jon Stewart right, because he is my favorite Green Lantern. If they have him running around in a beanie with a crowbar all the time,
like in that episode of
yes,
Justice League,
then we have some problems. But I'm gonna have to hold off and just wait and see what happens.
Right after we record, I'm going to show you some YouTube clips of Tyrese, just so you get a taste of what kind of actor
so I can be
is.
sad. Thank you. Thank you for making me sad.
And that does wrap up our movie news for this week. We do have tons of comic stuff. This week we're going to kick it off with DC, and that is that DC's Twix ads from last month are not present in this month's batch of comics, but they have brought back the DCBS ads that brick and mortar retailers had an issue with.
Back in March, DC ran DCBS and in-stock trades ads on the back of all of their books. DC apologized and blamed the ads on their coast-to-coast move.
The first time they did it in March, they actually put it on the very back of every single one of their books, which is a bigger advertisement spot than somewhere on the inside. And retailers, basically DCBS on in-stock trades, undercuts the prices on a lot of these comics and a lot of these trades to prices that brick and mortar stores can't compete with, because they don't get as good a discount, or really that's most of their income will come from these books, and they rely on that, whatever percentage that they earn from when they order from Diamond. And DCBS, a lot like Amazon or Walmart, will put those prices very low to try to attract more buyers, and that's why they buy in bulk. So that's something that retailers, including someone like myself who works in the retail world, is like, I'm not, this isn't good.
The DCBS and in-stock trades ads have returned, but they now offer a new headline: "Our discounts are so good, we're not even allowed to put them in this ad."
Those assholes. Unless they sponsor us in the future, in which case, maybe not. So the companies can still advertise on the DC books, but it looks like they actually cannot list their discount percentage or prices.
I'm not gonna lie, I have never noticed these ads. Back in March, I didn't notice them. Now I didn't notice them. I don't care.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm noticing them because I do work in retail for the comic book businesses, and so to me, I'm like, God damn it! like I've seen them in the past, and I see them now. But I am curious as to whether or not subscribers, regular people that shop at the regular shop, see these, notice these, or care at all about them. I don't know if subscribers are even affected by this, because they probably see this and they're like, well, I like my comic shop, I like the incentives they offer, I know the guys that or the girls that work behind the counter, they have a personal relationship with some of them. I can tell you for sure I do when I talk to a lot of them. So you don't really get that with DCBS or in-stock trades. I think this might be more for the casual buyer, maybe the person that mainly shops online. That's probably more for them. But I can see why retailers are still having an issue with it, because this is a competitor that is directly in the product that they sell.
I can definitely see why they have a problem with it. And if more people noticed it, then it would probably become a bigger problem. I see them getting most of their business, say, around the holidays, when people are buying trades for other people as gifts. I don't really see it throughout the year. I don't know. Maybe if they put Nick Lachey with a Twix bar on their ad, then I would have noticed it.
Then everyone would be mad at the DCPS.
Yeah, they would.
DCPS and In Stock Trades, if you guys want to get in touch with Nick Lachey, I'm sure it'll go just fine with you. Get some Twix in there, do a collaboration.
Yeah.
I encourage this. In fact, I will even put a direct link to your ad if you want on nerdupmedia.com. I'll do it.
Buy a trade, get a free Twix.
And put it in between the page ads, just like DC
Please do.
did. Yeah.
Put it like in the centerfold of the page.
Just straight up.
Forget the bottom. Just put it right in the centerfold. It'd be perfect. Can't wait.
As we get closer to San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel has revealed 28 Scotty Young Marvel pins set to debut at that convention.
So this was Disney going, hey, pins sell well in our parks. Let's try them here, and then we'll bring them to our parks.
They're like, let's help you out because you can make way more money than you do. Let me just give you a page from our book because what you guys are doing is laughable compared to what money you could really make. Here are these fucking pins. Use our fucking factories. Put those silly cartoons on this metal and sell that shit.
And they will. So available at the Marvel booth. The Team 4-pack pins will be $25, and the 2-pack mystery box pins will be $12.50.
There will also be a Nick Fury pin lanyard set for $15. That includes one pin with Nick Fury on it. I'm assuming you could only get Nick Fury from that lanyard. That way you have to get that if you want to get the full set. Or if you want to store all of your Avengers or X-Men, you can put it right on the lanyard, along with Nick Fury. How much money is this going to make?
So much money. Do you know how many people are going to walk in and buy, what were there, 4-packs?
Something like that.
So there's $100 dropped right there. And then you're going to have to buy at least two packs to try and get the rest of them. And then you might as well buy the Nick Fury lanyard while you're there. Like, pins sell so well in the park, and these are adorable. They're going to be on.
If you haven't looked at a Marvel wall in the last year and you don't know who Scotty Young is, this is the artist that initially did, early on, he did Human Torch. He did like a miniseries with them. He worked on the Venom comic for a little while. He did Ozma of Oz, the Oz books. Very, very well written, well drawn, awesome comics. But recently he's been doing the giant size little Marvel for Marvel. And then he's been doing a bunch of the variant covers. Anytime there's a new #1, Scotty Young has his own variant cover. And those are like the baby versions of the superheroes doing whatever it is on the cover. He's done so much of these. In my opinion, I'm like, he's phoning some of these guys in. Like, some of these variants, I'm like, he's done way better work than this. That's how much work he's getting. He's making a ton of money. And now he's going to get pins made of his work. And if you want to see them, you go to newsarama.com. You can check them out. One of my favorites was actually the Spider-Gwen with the yo-yo. That was, I really liked that one. I also liked the Thanos one. It's the same one that has him on the variant cover saying, "Come at me, bro." And it's a little baby Thanos. What about you?
I liked the Batman.
You mean the Black Panther?
No, that was clearly Batman.
Batman in disguise?
Yes, it was clearly Batman. The Spider-Gwen was great. I also like the Hulk, too, because you have actual Hulk, and then in front of him is Bruce Banner, which was really adorable. All of them are great. The fabulous thing about Scotty Young is even people who don't know and recognize his name, they're going to walk up and say, "These are adorable. I need these."
I've had customers come in and tell me, "I love Scotty Young. I love his..." They won't even mention his name. Like you said, they don't know his name. They're like, "I love these covers. I don't know who this is, but I love these. Do you have anything like that with these characters or something similar?" That's why I immediately point them to Giant Size Little Marvel, AVX. I even go to Batman Low Gotham with Dustin Nguyen. I'm like, it's a similar style. Better, in my opinion. But it's similar. You'll probably like this. You'll probably like some of Scotty Young's early work. You'll like Ozma of Oz. Check all of these out. They leave happy. They know something new now and pick up new books because of it. So Scotty Young is good for the industry. It's a good thing. But yes, it's a style on its own and something you can absolutely market and make all kinds of products from.
Keeping with the Marvel news, Marvel Comics has revealed its full lineup to its line of all new, all different universe, launching once Secret Wars wraps up.
That's the tagline. All new, all different Marvel Comics is what they're going with. All new #1s. Something we've been speculating along with sister podcast here on nerdupmedia.com, Those Two Jerks. The Secret Wars is going to be ending, and all new #1s throughout. Doesn't matter if the book's only 4 issues old. it's going to get a new number one.
All new, but pretty much the same Marvel Comics.
There will be 45 new number ones in total. You can see the full list at newsarama.com, but here are some of our personal favorites.
First up is All New Wolverine. This is written by Tom Taylor with art from David Lopez. This features X-23 in Wolverine's blue and yellow costume.
I haven't bought a Wolverine comic in years. That's going to change once this releases. This kind of change, this kind of all new different character is it's a jumping on point for people like me who don't read Wolverine, and two, it's different and interesting enough where I can go, oh shit, yeah, this is going to be X-23 as Wolverine, let me read that. I know nothing about the character or Wolverine, I'll jump on.
So they went, women sell, here's Lady Wolverine.
Here's a Wolverine guys can jerk off to. My friend Clayton, he's like, that's the only reason they made her. I'm like, I don't know about that, Clayton.
I mean, probably. After Hugh Jackman became Wolverine, people were probably very confused.
So guys can feel less guilty.
Yeah.
You're kind of like Hugh.
Only you're a woman, so it's all right.
So my parents will be okay with it. They're not as ashamed. One of which is one we're still getting, and that is Howard the Duck number one is the next one. The tagline says, yes, again. That's written by Chip Zdarsky with art from Joe Quinones.
The next book is Old Man Logan number one. This is written by Jeff Lemire with art from Andrea Sorrentino.
So they're taking the future Wolverine, pulling him into the current continuity of Marvel Comics, and they're saying this is going to be the Wolverine from now on. And we also have X-23 as well. So if you want your Logan, he's going to exist.
So they said, well, women don't really sell that well, so...
Just in case.
Just in case. This is our backup.
We're going to highlight 3 more comics that that popped out to us. This one is Scarlet Witch number 1, written by James Robinson. And why? Because of the art, which is Kevin Wada. Mm-hmm. He did the covers to She-Hulk. Next is
Spider-Woman number 1. This is written by Dennis Hopeless with art by Javier Rodriguez.
That's the Preggo's Spider-Woman.
Yes. Yes, and my question was not, how can she be a pregnant superhero? Or superhero while pregnant. It was, who's the daddy?
That's what you said. You're like, who's the baby daddy?
That's all I want to know. I want to know who the baby daddy is.
And the last one we're going to cover or highlight, probably added to our sub, going to continue. And that's because it's been an amazing series, and that is The Mighty Thor, number 1, written by Jason Aaron still, and art by Russell Dodderman.
So it will continue to be an expensive every week for us.
I'm assuming by then, because this is 4 months from now, we will have dropped some other comics that haven't been working for us.
We're going to have to drop some other comics that haven't been working for us.
One of which we will review later on in the show. That's going to be my pass of the week, but we'll get to it. But it's very exciting. Anytime there's new number ones, anytime there's a relaunch, it's good for the industry. You say what you may about how tired you are about these reboots and these relaunches and these new number ones, they work. Trust me, it worked with the New 52. It's going to work with this all new, all different Marvel universe. Especially with seeing how popular the Marvel movies, the Marvel TV shows have been. People are... I can tell you, like, from working at this comic shop, we sell way more Marvel comics and trades than we do DC or Indie. It's just the reality of it. As much DC as Kelly and I are, the fact is Marvel's hot right now. That's what's popular right now. The movies are doing well. Until other studios get behind it, make more movies, make more TV shows, that's the way it's going to stay for a little while. And with Disney behind Marvel, it's kind of, what are you competing up against? You know, It's fucking Disney. So all the new number ones are great. It's always awesome to have a line-wide jumping on point, and I cannot wait to sell these comics.
Speaking of comics, let's just move right into our comics.
No, we've got a competition here.
No.
Last week,
I don't see any of that on there. I just see some comics
to our wonderful, good-looking, beautiful fans out there.
Just some comics.
The most loyal, best broquettes
Mickey Mouse number 1.
I haven't even read these opinions yet, Kelly. I don't even really know what they're going to lean towards. We don't want to anger
people, so let's just talk about our comic books.
Kingdom Hearts.
We are a comic book podcast,
or Kingdom of Hearts.
We need to talk about the comic books because that's the kind of podcast that we are.
I want to hear from our listeners.
And you know
care
what?
About
you read
my
them.
Listeners.
That doesn't mean we need to share everything that we read.
I want to share what these broquettes said.
If I shared everything that I read, you guys would hear about a lot of fan fiction.
Look, broquettes, you took the time to share your opinion, and I will read it. All right, we're going to get to it. I'm
grateful for them taking time, but we need to talk about comics. That is what we're here for. Do we not want to give the people what they want, which is to talk about comic books?
First vote. Kingdom Hearts or Kingdom of Hearts? First one being Twitter user at QBandSlim. Quote, sorry, Daniel. I gotta go with Kingdom Hearts 3. There is no of hashtag Kingdom Hearts 3.
Thank you. And with that, we can move into our comic of the week. But it is the truth. It is just Kingdom Hearts. If they wanted it to be Kingdom of Hearts, they would have named it that, but obviously they didn't.
I love that I call it Kingdom of Hearts because the Kingdom of Hearts fans, it eats them up inside when I say it like that. Like, and I always say, like, blah, 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 Kingdom of Hearts, and then I continue, and they stop, and in their mind, I can feel them twitching a little bit, like, wait a sec, what did he say? And then they try to listen to what else I said, and then they always go back to, like, did he just say Kingdom of Hearts? For some reason, Kingdom Hearts fans, out of all of them, it eats them up and it bothers them so much inside when you say of in there. It's awesome. It's beautiful to witness. If you've got, everyone has their Kingdom Hearts hardcore fan, maybe you're it. Find your friend that you talk to Kingdom Hearts about. Name it Kingdom of Hearts next time. And just watch their reaction. It's so much fun.
Or you could not. Or you could just call it by its normal name, and we could all be happy with our lives.
We have another Twitter opinion here. That is from @nmats with a Z 68. Quote, Kelli dropping the Kingdom of Hearts 3 made my day. I cracked up. Hashtag KOH.
No, I'm pretty sure they just meant Kingdom Hearts. Or Kingdom Oh Yeah Hearts.
That's what he meant by the O and KOH?
Yes. Kingdom Oh Yeah Hearts.
Then why isn't there a Y there?
Because oh yeah is one word. Because that's how cool that word is. Oh yeah. Like, I'm not saying oh yeah. I'm saying oh yeah.
So now let's go on to our Facebook brokettes.
Facebook, Christopher said, Kingdom of Hearts. Sounds like this shit is getting intense. You know what's intense, Christopher? The fact that you're not allowed to listen to my podcast anymore. So thank you for all your years of your loyalty, but see you later, bye. Every time you download it, I'm going to hack into your computer and delete.
Then we'd be down to 2 listeners,
That's
Kelli.
fine.
You can't do that.
We're about to lose another one. Please continue.
This one's from Facebook user Jordan, who said, quote, Kingdom of Hearts, of in capital letters.
Jordan, you are also not allowed to listen to my podcast anymore. Please turn it off right now. Thank you.
And the last one, another vote from Facebook user Alexander, who, quote, said, Kingdom of Hearts, Kelli said it herself the last episode.
You've betrayed me, Alex. You've betrayed me.
You betrayed yourself. Past you betrayed you now.
No. You know what? I make some pretty good brownies. But now nobody's ever going to get brownies again. I'm going to eat all of them and I'm going to get fat.
How's that a threat to them?
Well, because, I don't know. Maybe they wanted some brownies, but now they don't get any.
So it's been settled.
No,
everyone.
It hasn't.
Settled.
Nothing's been settled. You know what this showed me?
This was an impartial vote.
Would you like to know what this showed me?
What?
This showed me that none of these people know what they're talking about. And that they just side with you because they think, I don't know, you're all ganging up on me. And I feel ganged up upon. And all I wanted was to like my favorite game. And you're all just being mean. It's because I'm a ginger, isn't it? You're all ginger prejudiced. And I don't like this.
Throw in the sexism, too.
It's because I'm a woman. It's because you all think I should stay barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and not even know anything about video games. So you're just making up nonsense. We're going to start calling it Star Fox.
The ironic thing is, if that were the truth, you would be the one calling it Kingdom of Hearts, not me.
Well, you're being mean. You know that it makes me angry. And so you do this on purpose to make me angry because you know all my threats of no longer cooking you dinner are false.
Thank you so much, Brokettes, for the hilarity.
Don't thank you. No thank yous here. You all ganged up on me and I don't appreciate this.
There were just not that many supporters for you. That's all there was.
No, they just supported you because they think it's funny when I get mad because they're all mean and you think it's funny, which is why you're laughing at me right now.
Is it funny, Brokettes? Let us know on Twitter.
Of course they think it's funny. Don't even ask them any more questions. Don't ask them. Don't. Just, I don't know why you're doing this to me.
Let's talk about dinosaurs.
You're making me angry.
Let's talk about dinosaurs before we move into
angry.
comics.
Why do you like making me angry?
You're not the only one angry.
Now I'm all worked up. I gotta be up in like a couple hours, and you're making me angry.
Your supporter Bobby's angry too. Don't worry. He said Kingdom Hearts.
Well, okay, but that's only one of them.
And he's asking us a question next.
Well,
from Twitter.
I'm glad he's asking us a question, but you've made me angry now. Everybody at work is, when they're like, Kelly, why are you so bitchy? I'm gonna be like, my Twitter, here, Facebook people, go get mad at them. They're the ones who made me angry. And you're all gonna get, like, hate mail. Like, man, Kelly was a real bitch today. She made me clean something. I'll be like, yeah.
So, Bobby, at Twitter user at CubanSlim, quote, interested to know what you thought of Jurassic World. Also, did you pick up on the Easter eggs they sprinkled in?
You can go first, because I'm angry.
All right. Well, we did see Jurassic World.
Yes.
We were either going to save up our money for Terminator Genesis, or we were going to watch Jurassic World. I looked at the Rotten Tomato rating, went with Jurassic World. I made the mistake of telling people on Twitter, because they all have a thing against Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to say right now, it's a congregation of reviews from different places, different websites, different newspapers. It's not actually Rotten Tomatoes themselves going, nah, that's a 27%, that's a 90%. For the most part, and I've said this on Twitter as well, as I took more film classes, as I studied more, it seemed to me like my views on different movies, stuff that I used to not like, I enjoyed more because I got to see it in a whole different way, analyze it differently, look at the camera work, look at the lighting, look at the directing, all of that stuff. And I think that forever changed how I view movies, whether or not it quote-unquote ruined it for me forever. I'm not sure, but I definitely have a deeper appreciation for some of the movies out there. Again, my favorite one of all time is The Fountain. Check it out. Absolutely love it. Jurassic World is the one I went with based on that Rotten Tomato rating, and I think we both ended up enjoying it. Mm-hmm. My general opinion on it is it's not a good movie. All right, it's not well written, it's not well directed, it's not great, but it is entertaining. And the last third of the movie, the final act, is really what made it for me. If that were any less than what it actually ended up being, I would not have been happy. Everything leading up to it, I was like, oh, right, it's a Jurassic Park movie, I guess. The CGI it doesn't look right. There's not enough puppets used in this. Fine, whatever. Even the original Jurassic Park, I haven't seen in years, and I don't really want to. It's not one that I'm like, I wish I could see again. It's like, all right, I remember liking it as a kid, dinosaurs, because I was big on them, but that's basically it. And seeing this one, it was just that third final act. It just sent goosebumps all throughout my body when I saw that final dinosaur come out, and I was like, holy shit, and then that big fight scene. I'm trying not to spoil it too much for any brokeheads that haven't seen it. But yeah, I was very much entertained. I probably won't see it again, just like the original Jurassic Park, but I don't regret spending the money to see it in theaters. I
agree with all of that. Don't listen to anybody speak, because they say things that I'm like, really? Again, like you said, yes, Jurassic Park movie. It was so much fun. There were so many moments where I was like, whoa! Because things just popped out. There's a lot of things that aren't very believable. Mm-hmm. Not to spoil anything, but the woman runs in heels the whole time. She's running from dinosaurs in heels. I can run in heels, but I cannot run like that in heels. And no woman in the world can run like that in heels. Totally unbelievable. Her white dress never gets dirty, really?
That's what's unbelievable to you, but not the dinosaurs that don't even look like what they actually looked like in real life. That's cool.
Yeah, of course not. That's a theme park. That's what they do. Come on. It's the woman running. I had this conversation with somebody earlier. That's why I'm on her running in heels. I don't want to spoil anything, and I feel like everything that I would talk about that I loved would spoil all the stuff.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Easter eggs. I think those aren't... I personally like it when people point out Easter eggs ahead of me watching it, because then I can actually look out for them when I see it. If you don't want that spoiled for you, skip ahead about 5 minutes. But yeah, the throwback to... We're going to the original island from the first movie, which we hadn't visited in any of the sequels for Jurassic Park. And you see they play around with that same headgear from the very first Jurassic Park. You see the Jeeps from the other Jurassic Park, the same ones. Some of the same dinosaurs from the very first Jurassic Park make a return in this. And specifically, one of them that was in the first movie makes a return in it. So there are a ton of little Easter eggs. I caught people were telling me about the Jeff Goldblum book. That one I missed.
There was a book?
Yeah, it has like the scientist, like his character's book that he wrote, and someone's reading it. I did catch the DNA animation.
Yeah,
thing
that
from
little
the first
guy.
movie.
I did see him too.
So that was great. I would have liked to see Newman Like that, you didn't say the magic word, like something in there with Newman.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, there were a ton of little things there for people who have seen Jurassic Park 1 and remember those things. But I think the difference between this new one, and it's made a shit ton of money. It's broken records.
So much money.
But I don't think it's quite as memorable as the first one. And again, Jurassic Park 1's not one that I'm going to go back and see, or one that I even own.
I would watch it again.
But I remember so much from that first movie. And this one, there's not that much that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to remember that 10 years from now and call back to it. You need Newman in this. That's what's missing. And Jeff Goldblum.
I think there are some things that I would remember. Like that very last scene was awesome. You know, I'll remember things like that. And
the climax, yeah.
Right. It has sparked a lot of really funny things on the internet. I'm sure people have seen it. If you had a velociraptor for a pet, that obviously ties back into this movie. And so, that's something that's very memorable. But the thing with Jurassic Park, the first one, is that was something we had never seen before.
Right, that's true.
And so that's why you're going to remember it, because it's, oh my god, there are puppet raptors running around and getting these people, and you had Godzilla movies, but I don't really remember anything quite like that.
One of my favorite parts of this, and it's just purely from a scientific standpoint, is they actually explain, like when you're looking at this, you're like, okay, so now we know way more about dinosaurs, which ones had feathers and all of that. And it's like, yeah, some of these dinosaurs, like the original T-Rex had feathers, and the velociraptors were much smaller, about the size of a dog, and they had a shit ton of feathers. And in this movie, they actually explain, the real reason is we didn't know that back when Jurassic Park 1 came out. But in this one, one of the scientists, he actually takes the time and he's like, none of this shit is real. You think if we actually showed them the real dinosaurs, they'd want to see that? No, they want more teeth, they want bigger, we spliced them with reptile DNA, that's why they look different. And I was like, so that's for like assholes like me that are like, oh, okay, that's why they don't have feathers. I did post up that picture on Facebook of the velociraptor with feathers. I'm like, that shit would have been scary too. Like, I don't care if it's the size of a dog. Yep, they hunted in packs. Like, that shit would have gotten you.
If you saw a bunch of them, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, they had to, for continuity wise, they had to go with the original look, the outdated look now of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. And it's completely fine. You're in a movie, it's fantasy. These dinosaurs aren't, like the scientist said, what they actually looked like.
Right.
It's a splicing of different DNAs. Even the ones that are not that crazy experiment that is the whole basis of this movie, even those are mixed with, like in the original, the frog DNA, like in Jurassic Park 1.
Cuttlefish they used.
Yeah.
They said they used, and yeah, exactly. Overall, it was a really fun movie. Like, I had a lot of fun, even making fun of the kid next to me.
What was the kid doing next to you?
He, like, every time a dinosaur came on, he, like, flailed around a little bit. I'm like, is this kid, like, getting off on these dinosaurs? I'm so confused.
Velociraptor!
But, like, I look over and he'd be, like, laying down on his seat. I'm like, what are you doing, kid? Like, you're, like, 12. Calm down.
Kids got excited about dinosaurs again. I actually did see a child at the comic shop, and he had little dinosaur toys that he was walking around with.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, I hadn't seen that shit in fucking years. Like, when do kids play with dinosaur toys anymore? That doesn't happen, really.
My brother, I remember, he just had, like, you know those big plastic tubs? Just full of dinosaur toys. But he was growing up when all the Jurassic Park movies. I remember
Godzilla.
He was like 3 years old, and he had watched the first Jurassic Park, no problem. Not scared at all.
That's one thing I thought about too. I'm like, there's kids in this fucking theater.
Yeah.
This is a Jurassic Park movie. People get killed all the time. And then I'm like, oh, this wasn't as gruesome as the first one.
The first one was horrible. I do remember.
Yeah, this wasn't. I don't feel like I would have been scared watching this as a kid. Even the first one, I don't remember at all being scared watching. I thought it was really cool to see the dinosaurs.
Right. The first one was so good though. Like, they had, going back to you saying it's so memorable, they had so many great lines too. Like,
must go faster, yeah.
Clever girl.
Yeah, like, that's the one.
You always remember that. Then they have the picture of the raptor with the Rubik's Cube. I love it. Overall, I mean, we could talk about this all day. We both thought it was very entertaining. The writing absolutely sucked. It was horrible.
It's a summer movie.
Right. It's great to see the dinosaurs running around, eating shit.
Yeah, I hope that answered your question, Q-Band Slim. But now we can move into our comic book reviews for the week. Let's see here. We've got 2 indie comics, 3 Marvel books, and looks like 4 DC books. So we're going to start off with a brand new number 1, and that is from IDW, Disney Comics, Mickey Mouse number 1. Written by Andrea Castellan, Bill Walsh and Don Christensen. Art by Giorgio Cavazzano, Paul Murray, and Manuel Gonzalez. With colors by Disney Italia, Tom Long, and Digicore Studios.
I enjoyed this book, but not because Mickey Mouse was in it. I don't even really remember Mickey Mouse being in it. He is probably one of my least favorite Disney characters.
I agree.
He's very one-dimensional. It was a very cute story. I did love the characters that they put in there, and it was a lot of fun, but not because of Mickey Mouse.
Believe it or not, and I don't think this has happened before, but this was my runner-up. This is my runner-up for pick of the week.
Really?
It was almost my pick of the week. Huh. And I have the exact same thing. Like, it shouldn't even be close to my pick of the week. Like you said, Mickey Mouse has to be a one-dimensional character because he's the mascot for Disney. Right. He can't be too controversial.
He's got to go, ha-ha.
Yes, he does. And I thought of something awful, sorry. Just because Disney anti-Semitism. But Mickey Mouse, yeah. It's
yeah, Mickey Mouse.
I think it's more mainly because of the story in this Mickey Mouse #1, and that they're discovering it's a story of friendship. Not even it has nothing to do with Mickey or Goofy. We're following the secondary group of original characters.
Yeah, Condom.
Yeah, one of the characters is named Condom. Actually, it's with a K, but still, I'm like, that's fucking Condom. That says Condom right there. And they're all got lost on an island, and they discover the Fountain of Youth, and it's about adventures when you're at an old age and going back with your friends and rediscovering your friends and rediscovering your adventures and living your past but in the present. Like, it spoke to me a lot, not only because I'm fucking aging, but it's as I get older, I appreciate those moments in this time that we have now at this very moment right now that you can do and you can use all of that, utilize it to the best of your ability. And that's what this story is about. And it's a kid's book, but it's also something that's been reprinted and recolored and touched up, and it looks great. And I really, really liked it. I liked that it wasn't split between two different comics like Donald Duck was, which is no longer on our subscription list. We might check out the third issue just to see, but yeah, it was a really good book. And then the backup stories include a story by Pluto, includes a new character called Ellsworth, who's a crow. I immediately thought of, well, there was a movie that was banned because of Three Crows, but those were the voices I heard when I was reading him, and I'm assuming he was created at about the same time.
Dumbo,
Song of the
right?
South. I think it was Song of the South. Although I think they did appear in Dumbo too.
Yeah.
But yeah, new character Ellsworth, he was fucking hilarious. He and Goofy, like, he's definitely the smarter one. It was amazing. So yeah, very good #1, and yeah, I'm recommending a Mickey Mouse book.
Next up, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #47. This is written by Tom Waltz, Bobby Curnow, and Kevin Eastman, with art by Mateus Santaloco, and the colorist is Rhonda Pattinson.
I felt like this was a setup issue for the new arc, and from the solicitation in the latest previews catalog, it looks like #50 will be an end of sorts. I don't know if they're going to reboot it with a new TMNT #1 or just start over at a renumbering and that's it with a new #1. But yeah, this is raising the stakes for what you thought was the family calming down and reaching a plateau of sorts.
JK!
Right, now we have the return of Shredder, and he's pissed off. And we've got another villain that has his bots coming up and try to find the turtles while
we can't figure out who that is.
While they're still trying to heal. It's like I said earlier, it raises the stakes for everyone involved.
I feel like that's a lot of what this book is, though. It's, oh, everything's good, JK. Now we're good now, JK.
Yeah, but it's good stuff.
I agree. I still enjoyed the issue. But like you said, definitely a setup for what's coming next, which, as always with TMNT, is going to be some crazy shit.
Now we can move on to our Marvel books. And speaking of Scotty Young, making all that money with those pins.
Gonna make that money, money, money.
Giant Size, Little Marvel, AVX #2, written and drawn by Scotty Young, colors by Jean-Francois Beaulieu. Can I sing that as in the Little Gotham theme, or is that sacrilegious?
That's sacrilegious. How are you going to sing that in the Little Gotham theme? I don't even understand.
It's Little Marvel, AVX.
No.
I did it.
That's terrible. That was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
You're such a Dustin Wynn loyalist.
And? Is there a problem with that?
There is not.
Okay, then.
There is not. This is no Dustin Wynn, for sure.
No, it's not.
I think we both enjoyed the #1 series from Scotty Young. and this connects to that first issue. It's just the Marvel characters, the little kids, and having a dodgeball match and fighting. It ends up being Avengers versus X-Men, just like the title implies. And we have 2 new characters who I still haven't figured out if they're original characters or someone in the Marvel universe. But yeah, it was still really funny. It was really light, a great kids book. I sold it to a child today, actually, and it was a very fun read.
It's cute. The problem that I had with this book, there's not a ton of story. It's just a bunch of fluff. Like, oh, look at them. They're so cute and they're being little kids. Ah, ha, ha. But I opened up the first page and I had to close it again and look at the number because I felt I had read it last month.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So what would you say is the difference between a book like that and Batman Low Gotham?
Well, Dustin Nguyen, for one.
Of course, the artwork's better.
Of course. But I feel like Batman Little Gotham had the adorable characters, but it still had a great story.
Yes.
Each of them had a specific plot. It wasn't just, oh no, you took my juice box, now I'm going to blow you up. Now we're all going to fight. Which is pretty much what this is. It all ends in a big fight.
Yeah.
Whereas, Little Gotham, yes, there's probably a fight, but then there's a cute story, or you have sweet down moments where you just explore the characters. So that's the difference between the two. This book is still a lot of fun, but it's not up there with Little Gotham for me.
Yep, I definitely agree. I think we're going to finish off the series because it's middle of the road. Like, it's fine. It's a fun read. It's light. It's a good break in our stack of comics when we read them. Like, okay, fine, Low Gotham, let's check this out. Okay, now let's dive into something a little bit deeper. Well, ABS versus Lil Marvel, whatever. Little Marvel, not Lil. I'm sorry.
Thank you. You're just trashing all my things today. You don't want, like, dinner or breakfast for a while. Enjoy washing your own clothes.
Next is Ultimate End, number 3 of 5.
This is written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Mark Bagley, and the color is Justin Ponsor.
Here we actually see how the Incredible Hulk ended up hulking out and fighting the Ultimate Hulk.
Yes. This is my pass of the week.
Not my pass, but I think the last 2 have been your pass of the week.
Yes, because who cares?
You don't care about anyone
Let me talk about this book. This is what happened in this book. Hulk, why'd you do that? Let's have a flashback. I'm Hulk with a beard. Now I'm angry and I have no beard. Now I punched him. That's what happened in this book.
Yeah, that's actually what happened.
That is all that happened. Well, how did he lose his beard when he became angry? I don't understand.
He needed that energy that was stored in the beard for this body, so it got sucked back into his skin.
So you're saying he's like Chuck Norris?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's false.
I don't know the Hulk.
Don't ruin Chuck Norris like that. This is my pass because 0 things happened, and who cares?
Yeah, number 2 was definitely better.
And number 2 still sucked.
It's not my pass, but it's definitely close. You're right. It's a shame that not much at all happened, and that's really it. Like, you can flip through the book and you would know what happened just from flipping through it.
Yes.
Or from Kelly's review. That is literally everything.
That is literally everything that happened. We spent how much money on this book, and that's all that happened. And I understand these are probably some people's favorite characters. These are definitely some people's favorite characters. But whether they're my favorite character or not, you need to make me care about these characters, and I don't.
Especially if you're writing a miniseries, 1 of 5. Make the reader care, even if they already know about it.
They have to understand, too, like, this is the end of
the Ultimate Universe.
Ultimates. So people who haven't been following are probably going to pick it up because, hey, it's the end. Let me see it close out, and then I'll start fresh from the beginning. But they haven't done their job to make me care that this is ending. I go, what, we're 3 issues in? Yeah, go ahead and kill them all now. I don't care.
And we like Brian Michael Bendis. He's killed it on Miles Morales' Ultimate Spider-Man. But this is his baby, too. It's the Ultimate Universe. He spearheaded the Ultimate Universe. It's what his thing is. And he's got 2 issues left to close the book on this. And so far, this should have been an art. Like this, I know Miles is the big thing. And yes, his concentration should be on Miles because that's actually what's going to exist past Secret Wars. But care about the rest of these guys.
He doesn't, and I don't either. Our next book is Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, number 7. This is written by Ryan North with art by Erica Henderson, and the colorist is Rico Renzi.
Another awesome comic. It's still the evil squirrel running around, whispering things into people and making them hateful and angry and cynical assholes. And it's up to Squirrel Girl to stop them and beat up the fucking Avengers.
Yeah, that was awesome. This was a very fun book. Probably the middle of an arc. I could see it wrapping up in the next issue, probably. Mm-hmm. But we get to see Thor in there and Lady Thor. And they were a whole lot of fun. And I love that this book ties into what's going on in the rest of the Marvel Universe.
There was even a Chip Zdarsky that made an appearance.
He was so cool.
There's a duck in this comic, and he makes a 2-panel appearance. Mm-hmm. And as you know, with Ryan North, he leaves the little notes at the very bottom of the pages of every one of the comics. We saw him in Adventure Time. He's doing it with Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. And he said, that duck's name is Chip Zdarsky.
And he's off on his own adventures, which you won't get to see. I'm like, no, I need to see these adventures.
You make a comic called Chip Zdarsky, we're going to fucking subscribe for it, on it forever.
He should appear in Howard the Duck. Howard should have a friend named Chip.
He absolutely should. Done. He ate bread today. Oh, cool. That was a great issue. Just put it aside.
$3.99, no problem.
Thank you, Chip. Now we can move into the DC Comics. We've got 4 of them we're reviewing today. And the first one being Bat-Mite number 2 of 6, written by Dan Jurgens, art by Corin Howell, and colors by Mike Attier.
This book is so much fun. This is the end of the kind of little mini arc we had with Spooky Lady and Hawkman. So much fun.
Bat-Mite is he redesigned. If you're a fan of Hawkman at all, you'll see every version of Hawkman in the comic, and then Bat-Mite makes his own. He's like a modernized version, and he put fucking tattoos on. You'll have to see the comic to actually understand it. And so that makes an appearance. It wraps up the first issue, which did make me actually happy, because this being a miniseries, I can tell someone that number 3 is a jumping on point.
Right.
Like, you can jump on with next month's Bat-Mite, and you'll be just fine. But if you want to catch up with 1 and 2, they're still widely available. It's still in print. So, yeah, we recommend Bat-Mite. If you want something lighter in your comics and your DC books, it's right here. I've been saying it every single time. It's a great comic. It's a lot of fun. There's a throwback to Frank Miller's Batman, even, and the artwork is wonderful.
And for those of you who are fans of the old Looney Tunes show, this feels so much like that.
Or even Animaniacs.
Animaniacs, yes. Both of those feels a lot like that. It's just a lot of fun. Definitely recommended. Next we have Batman Beyond number 2. This is written by Dan Jurgens with art by Bernard Chang, and the colorist is Marcelo Maiolo.
Another Dan Jurgens written book, but this is actually my pass of the week.
I can see that. Yeah.
If you're subscribed to Batman Beyond, let's pretend that I like Terry McGinnis, or even that I like Tim Drake, and I love Batman Beyond, which I don't. I think he's all right. He's in the same category as Robin and Damian Wayne and Tim Drake and Jason Todd.
Damian Wayne? He's in that category?
I misspoke. Not Damian. Damian Wayne's way above that.
No. You said Damian Wayne.
And you said Kingdom of Hearts last week.
No.
Yeah, okay, so
we're moving
Beyond.
on.
Let's pretend I'm a fan of Batman Beyond.
Okay.
I don't feel like I would have gotten enough Batman Beyond out of this comic. Like, this is not I would aim this at teenagers, to be perfectly honest. Like,
I could see that.
We grew up on some people grew up on Batman Beyond. I grew up on Batman the Animated Series. But if I grew up on Batman Beyond, I want to see the fun, lighter Terry McGinnis running around he's like DC's Spider-Man in a way. You know, he's making his jokes while he's running around, or maybe like a future Nightwing, if anything. And you don't get that out of this. It's like it's Tim Drake running around. It's a post-apocalyptic thing. It's not really Batman Beyond.
What I feel they're trying to do with this book is they have this great, dark future of Gotham story that they wanted to tell. So they said, well, Batman Beyond's from the future, let's throw him in here. The problem with that is they then have to try and lighten up their dark story because it's Batman Beyond. What they should have done is just told this dark, gritty story that they wanted to tell. Go ahead and throw Batman in it, but make it dark.
Batman or Batman Beyond?
I mean, either one, I don't really care. But I feel like they're trying to do too many things, and they're not being true to the story that they want.
I'm kind of the complete opposite. I feel like they should have gone lighter with the Batman Beyond story, because that's what that cartoon was. It wasn't as dark as Batman the Animated Series, and we get some good ideas here. Like Alfred coming back is perfect. Use that more, and then the fact that you have this very popular Batman Beyond villain, Ink. That's great. Like, there's great ideas here. This could be a great comic, but it's just not executed well.
Well, and like I said, they're trying to make it lighter because Batman Beyond. Set the fact that it's Batman Beyond aside. Tell this dark story. But they're trying to keep the character... They're not reinventing the character, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They threw Tim Drake in there thinking it would reinvent him,
which still
but
is crazy.
Changing who the character is doesn't make the character different exactly. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if this comic was canceled in a year, to be honest, because this is not their Batman Beyond, because it's Tim Drake. And someone to me, like, who's not a fan of Batman Beyond, really, who's just like, it's fucking future Robin, if you will. And I'm like, well, no, I don't fucking care, like, because they're not writing it well. It's the art is okay, and the plot is fine. It's just not a great comic, unfortunately. But I'll give it one more. We'll see. Pass of the week. Next one is Bizarro number 2 of 6, written by Heath Corson, art by Gustavo Duarte, Kelli Jones, Michelle Madsen, and Francis Manipool, with colors by Pete Pantazis.
This is my pick of the week.
Good pick.
Yes.
Very fun comic.
This is so much fun. I'll tell you what I liked most about this. So I think this was my pick last time it came out, because it is a very light comic, but I love it. The mix of Bizarro and Jimmy on this road trip, it's just as magical. There's so many possibilities. But the thing I loved about this, so last issue kind of ended on a cliffhanger. You had
the King Tut guy.
King Tut with some aliens and yada, yada, yada.
The Chupacabra's in there.
Yes, the Chupacabra.
He's one of my favorites.
In theory, they could have stretched that story out for this entire issue. But they wrapped it up right at the beginning. They're like, and it's over. Let's move on. And that's what I loved. Because I hate when they drag things on longer than they need to be. But they ended it in such a way that it was still cute. And then we get kind of like this montage of them going to all these different places. And you get cameos from different characters. And the dialogue's hilarious. And you can tell Jimmy's so frustrated. But at the same time, you can see that they're growing their relationship together. It's such a fun book.
I wonder if that's a style they're going with on these miniseries, because that's the second one. First one being Bat-Mite, in which they wrap up the main story in just 2 issues. And I think that's great. And they introduced the next arc at the very end of this, so it's another jumping on point. Bizarro number 3, when that comes out next month in August, you'll be able to pick it up and you'll be fine. But yeah, it's an absolutely awesome comic. I want it to be an ongoing because it has been so much fun. But we shall see. Maybe this is one of those things where DC tests it out and sees how it sells and how it reviews. And it's a good one, DC. Keep it going, hopefully. But if not, we'll enjoy all 6 issues.
Our last book of this week is Detective Comics number 42. This is written by Francis Manipool and Brian Buccellato, with art by Fernando Blanco, and the colorist is Brian Buccellato.
Detective is struggling, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I think a lot of that has to do with the recent news of Francis Manipool leaving the book, kind of leaving Brian Buccellato on his own here, but it's the new Batman, Jim Gordon, is going up against a new group of villains, and I like the look, I like the costumes that they wear. It's very Day of the Dead-ish. We still don't know much about them, and I want to dive into that, but so far it's just Jim Gordon. Oh, I'm not good at Batman. I need to be rescued. Should we rescue him? He's Batman. Why are we rescuing him? Oh, I'm not good at Batman. It's a lot of that. And I want to see more of Harvey and Batman's relationship, which we had gotten before this, before the new Batman came about. The artwork itself isn't great, but I understand that the artist was a fill-in kind of last minute, kind of stepped up and did the Detective Comics issues. It wasn't Francis Manipool. I don't know. It's very wishy-washy on my end.
I do not enjoy this comic. I mean, it's not my past. I think it has good ideas, but I don't feel that the story was really fleshed out. They just kind of went, okay, Batman's gone for a little while. Wouldn't this be badass? And somebody went, yeah, let's make a story around that. It wasn't, I have this great story, let me tell it.
For some reason, the story around Harvey is not as good.
Here's what I would have liked to have seen. So we've established that Jim Gordon's been in Gotham for as long as whatever. And Jim Gordon knows a lot about Gotham. So whereas Batman can solve these crimes by going back to his computer and looking it up and saying, okay, in this database, we have this newspaper article from this time, da-da-da-da, and that's how he solves it. Jim should be able to pull that from his memory. Jim should be able to be like, okay, they're attacking this. Well, I remember in Gotham's history, this happened, so this is why. That's what they need to focus on. Not, oh, I'm bad at Batman.
I'm terrible, and he just lays down for a while.
Bad. Oh, they shot me in the knees. Now I can't do anything. Come save me. Like, that's all that's happening. Every issue is, oh, this shouldn't hurt my suit, but it did. Mm-hmm. Oh, I should be able to stop this, but I can't. I don't know why I'm doing this anymore, but I have to do this.
Do you think Scott Snyder handled? I mean, it's his idea, right? To have Jim Gordon as Batman, him and Greg Capullo's. Do you think he handles him better than these other writers? Do you think they're like, shit, now we got to write for Jim Gordon as Batman? Let's do our best.
I don't think they picked the right story for Jim.
I did mention earlier that Francis Manapul is no longer on Detective Comics. He has announced through Twitter that he has stepped away from the comic as the co-writer.
He was quoted saying, "A couple months ago, I made the hard decision to walk away from Detective Comics in order to pursue these new projects. I loved writing Bruce and Harvey's adventures with my best friend, Brian Buccellato. Much thanks goes out to DC for giving us the opportunity. It's not typical to announce when someone leaves, but I didn't want you all to be blindsided by seeing my name everywhere else except Detective Comics."
So there you go. He worked on The Flash previously with the New 52. He did a bunch of issues with the New Detective Comics and did a great job. That's the story we saw with Anarchy, if you remember, not too long ago.
Good one.
It was a gorgeous looking book, and unfortunately Francis is not staying on Detective Comics. I don't know what this means for this new creative team, but I hope it streamlines the story a little bit more as we move forward. And again, it could be that this big leave is affecting this comic, and I think personally it is, but hopefully they're able to salvage it. I mean, Detective Comics has to continue. That's the name of the company, DC Comics. And I think once Batman returns and all of this blows over, it'll be fine, but for now, we'll see how it goes from here on out.
And guys, that will do it for our podcast this week. Thank you so much for listening. Just to reiterate, my pick of the week was Bizarro number 2.
And I didn't really announce a pick of the week. Mickey Mouse was a runner-up. I guess between that and looking back on it and reviewing it, it's between that and Bizarro. Mickey Mouse number 1 or Bizarro number 2.
And my pass of the week was Ultimate End number 3.
And my pass of the week was Batman Beyond number 2. We do want to thank you all for checking out the episode this week. Don't forget to head on over to nerdupmedia.com to check out the rest of the podcasts and shows that we have on there, like other podcasts like Those Two Jerks, Let's Plays like The Lazy Gaming Guys, and comic book video reviews, The Read Pile.
One of the best ways you can support us too is by leaving us a review either through iTunes or Stitcher. Helps other people find us, and we will read it on the air if you leave us one.
If you want to get a t-shirt, go to nerdupmedia.com/shop. You will see the Nerd Up Media t-shirts available in black, gray, red, blue, and the brand new color pink. Different sizes for men and women. Price includes shipping for a donation of $16.99.
You can also follow us on Twitter at Reasons I'm Broke. We're posting stuff all the time. You can tell us how it's only Kingdom Hearts, not Kingdom of Hearts, and how Dan is just being a meanie face.
Me and the other brokettes.
Yeah, you're all being meanie faces.
Listeners.
All of you are meanie faces.
You can also follow us on Facebook.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke. Always love hearing from all of you.
And that is all we have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can put away your credit cards and your monies, close up them wallets, because we're broke enough as it is. Thank you guys very much. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Daniel.
We'll see you next week.